Hi, I'm Michelle Cusumano, an Insights Manager at General Mills, one of the world's largest food companies, and I work in the world foods category. So I've been in the research industry now for about 19 years, and I've worked across both agency and client-side roles. Phil?
Thanks, Michelle. I'm Phil Sutcliffe. I'm managing partner at Nexxt Intelligence. I spent 27 years in senior research roles at Kantar before starting my own consultancy. And it was whilst doing that I used Nexxt Intelligence's platform, Inca, which uses conversational AI to blend qualitative capabilities with quantitative surveys. I was so impressed that I decided to take a stake in the business, and I became part of the team 2 years ago.
So today, Phil and I are going to be talking to you about how we recently worked together on a project that really pushed beyond traditional online methods and introduced conversational AI into a quantitative survey design. So we're going to explain why we used it, how conversational AI actually works, including a demo to really bring it to life for you. We'll run through a case study on the project we used it for so you can see the business application. And finally, we'll highlight our thinking around what we see coming next in this conversational AI space. So I'm lucky that I get to work at General Mills, as we are currently on a journey to experiment and get comfortable with AI tools. We're part of a broader cross-company collaboration, which is about understanding how AI is forecasted to grow over the next 5 years. So there's acknowledgement that this is the way of the future. It's only going to get bigger. So we need to jump in now and start testing and learning when we see opportunities that will fit. And we know that not everything will work, but because we're at the start of this journey, we're really willing to go in with an open mindset and just learn. So I've worked on a few projects now, and some have proven to be a little more challenging and really, I guess, highlighted just how critical that human element is in making sure that AI projects actually deliver something that is meaningful and useful to the business. However, the project that we're going to talk to you today about is one where AI was successful. It enhanced and enabled greater learnings rather than just being some shiny distraction. So Phil, I'll hand it over to you now to take it away.
Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about is why conversational. Well, if you think about it, for people who take part in quantitative research studies, the online survey experience is a one-way experience. People receive a set of questions and provide their answers. They respond, so we call them respondents. There's no interaction, and oftentimes it's not a very engaging experience for people. On the other hand, conversations are everything that surveys aren't. They're two-way rather than one-way. Conversations involve listening as much as asking. Conversations can be emotional, surprising, they're often fun, and dare I say it, they're insightful. And when you're part of a conversation, you're a participant, not a respondent. So it's our belief that if we could make the quantitative research experience conversational, it would address a number of issues we saw with traditional online quantitative research. Specifically, there were 3 key problems that we wanted to solve for in creating a conversational research methodology. Firstly, there's always been a divide between quant and qual research. Market researchers use quantitative research when they want to know facts and figures and get robust, statistically significant data at scale. As a consequence, quantitative surveys focus on the what. And historically, if we want to understand consumer whys, to dig deeper, to understand more about attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors, we've needed to conduct qualitative research. We wanted to address this divide by blending a level of more qualitative understanding into quantitative research. Secondly, when quant surveys do try to understand the why, which they do through open-ended questions, the response can be very one-dimensional. People often give very short answers that lack insight, and even worse, there are commonly issues of people giving irrelevant, uninformative, or even completely gibberish answers. And the third problem we wanted to solve for is respondent experience. In online surveys, the experience is often pretty poor, with a series of checkboxes and grids, leading people to switch off and not really think about their answers. This consequently impacts on data quality. So we wanted to reimagine respondent experience into something more participatory by being more engaging, meaning people will pay more attention and provide better quality data. And we felt that conversational research could be a solution. And the solution we came up with is called inca. Inca is an acronym. It stands for Inquisitive Natural Conversation Agent. And that's because inca is a chatbot, the agent, that asks questions, so it's inquisitive, in natural language conversations. Inca's main job is to ask intelligent probing questions to answers people give to open-ended questions in a quantitative survey to get more considered responses. As in this example, the participant said red in response to the original question of what comes to your mind as soon as I say Coca-Cola. So the participant is given an answer, but it's a very brief, uninsightful answer. As you can see, Inca followed up the participant answer by asking, what does the color red make you think of when it comes to Coca-Cola? You can imagine that when the participant answers that question, we'll start to get to a deeper insight into their associations with the brand. Inca's underlying technology is built on generative AI, including GPT and other large language models, and has been trained and optimized for market research purposes. The training provides large language models more context, edge case handling, and expert guidance in order to reliably generate really good, relevant probing questions. The probes follow market research best practice, for example, by not asking leading questions, and will be ethical and appropriate for the audience. We thought it'd be helpful to show a few more examples of AI probing in action. Firstly, this example is fairly common with survey open-ended questions. Just like in the previous Coca-Cola example, the participant answers a question, but with a brief answer that's not very insightful. The researcher is left wanting to know why the participant values the culture. So that's what the AI probes on, looking for more specific answers. As you can see with the probe, could you tell me more about what you like about the culture? In this next example, the participant gives a longer answer. By the way, for those of you who don't know, and I certainly didn't, Mad Lions is an esports team. In this case, the chatbot's training means it first shows some empathy, saying, yeah, they did really well, before probing for elaboration by asking, what do you think made them successful? I mentioned earlier that uninformative or gibberish answers are unfortunately a problem with open-ended answers in survey. With Inca's AI probing, we don't let people get away with that. You can see that in this video. Firstly, the participant enters an uninformative answer, and the probe asks them to explain more, as you can see. In the second example, the participant enters a gibberish answer, and the probe tries again to get a better answer. Very often, these probes encourage people to give us a better quality answer, and we turn a poor participant into a better one. However, the detection of uninformative answers, gibberish, and also irrelevant answers also acts as a quality check. If a participant gives two poor quality answers within a survey, we screen them out, ensuring we only have good quality participants providing useful answers in the final data set. There are also more advanced probing capabilities whereby the researcher can get involved to steer the AI probing in a way that meets specific objectives they have for a particular question. The first way this can be done is through the use of targets. The researcher identifies target words or terms and then sets an action for the AI. The action could be for the AI to prioritize probing on that term if it's mentioned by the participant in their open-ended response. That was the case in the example on this chart. Insulin was set as the target, and when the participant mentioned a range of things, including blood glucose levels, adverse effects, kidney damage, and insulin resistance in their answer to the first open-ended question, the probe focused on resistance to insulin, as that was the target set. And an alternative action will be to probe if a target wasn't mentioned. For example, it's interesting that you didn't mention insulin resistance. Why is that? Or an action can be set to completely avoid probing on a particular target if it's mentioned. For example, in early stage NPD research, we might not be interested in probing on any mentions of price. The second example of the research being able to steer the conversation uses what we call trained models. Trained models work at the question level and have lots of applications. For example, a trained model can be used to make the AI reflect the language used by a particular demographic, or to use the technical terms used by professional groups such as doctors or lawyers. Another application used in this example is to provide counter-arguments, in this case for MPD research, to see if it changes participants' opinions. As you can see, in this case, we were testing an idea for a new type of packaging, an environmentally friendly, fully compostable milk carton. Someone said they wouldn't buy it. Based on the concept, we asked why. Then after their answer, we provided a counter-argument. So you can see here that the participants said they wouldn't buy the pack because they don't see too much wrong with the current milk packaging. As a response, the trained model probed, did you know that 10% of marine life dies each year due to plastic pollution in the oceans? Does this fact make you reconsider your interest in this compostable milk pack? Please tell me why. Trained models work by feeding the AI between 3 and 10 examples for how people might answer the original question. And for each example, telling the AI what the ideal probe would be. The AI learns from this training set to then return a probe in a similar vein that is relevant to however the participant answers. And the impact we found is that Inca's conversational AI probing leads to more considered responses from survey participants, with them providing considerably more verbatim and a greater depth and breadth of insight. It provides more differentiated findings, for example, providing twice as many significant differences when we compare what people tell us about 2 stimuli. And Inca probing delivers more actionable insights that better explain the decisions and choices people make. In addition to all this, probing builds engagement with the survey as it makes people feel listened to and that their opinions matter. For this project with Michelle and the General Mills team, we use the Inca Conversational AI survey platform, which reimagines the survey as a very different experience for participants compared to traditional online surveys, and provides even more benefits for brands. For confidentiality reasons, we can't show you the actual Inca Conversational AI survey we use for General Mills, so I've put together a short demo which gives a good idea of the participant experience by using stimuli from the yogurt category. In the General Mills survey, we used a trade-off exercise to ask people to prioritize between the different flavors we tested. And we then followed up with open-ended questions, followed by AI probing to understand the reasons for participants' preferences and to understand more about the occasions they would use each flavor for. I'll now show you the demo to give you an idea of how this worked. What you'll see is a screen recording of a participant taking the Inca Conversational AI survey, and we've speeded it up for the purposes of today's session. So you can see here the chatbot introducing the survey to people. The first question we ask is a screening question, and then we show people the yogurts one by one to see how interested they are in each of them. As you can see here, the participant answers somewhat interested, and they go through each of them one by one. The AI then identifies the ones they're interested in, and for each of those, they choose between them in pairs, as you can see. We then identify the preferred yogurt for each participant, and we ask why you preferred this yogurt the most. And you can see here, the participant gives us the answer. They tell us they always buy Yoplait, they trust the brand. So then the AI probes this question, what is it about Yoplait that makes you trust the brand, has been generated by the AI. And you can see when the participant answers, we get an additional depth of understanding. What we also do is we show one of the yogurts they weren't interested in. And as you can see, we ask why they wouldn't buy this particular yogurt. And again, after the respondent answers, the AI comes back with a probe to ask people what kind of yogurt they do prefer. And again, that provides us with deeper insight. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of how the experience works. I'm going to hand over to Michelle now to talk a little bit more about the specifics of the project.
Thanks, Phil. So as Phil mentioned, the project that we worked together on was all about using conversational AI to help us optimize an upcoming NPD launch that we had. So we're entering a new product segment within a category that we're already playing in, and we want to ensure that we're launching with the optimal range of 3 SKUs to maximize both consumer reach and appeal. So this is a big category and there's already a lot of competition. So we need to be more than just a Me Too product. We really need to have a point of difference to succeed. So we conducted the online quant study with the trade-off analysis to help us unlock the optimal combination of 3 products. But in addition, we did a deep dive on each of the products that we tested to unlock the why behind each product. And specifically, it was to understand and unpack that role of flavour and occasion within the category. So one of the key learnings that came out of this study was that by looking beyond mainstream flavours, we can extend the overall reach in the category by introducing something both shiny and new. So if you have a look at the chart on the left, if we had asked consumers directly, purchase intent, about the range of flavours that we were looking to launch with, you can clearly see here that flavours 1, 6, 5 and 3 seem to be the most popular. So if we went with this data set alone, we probably would have decided to go with flavours 1, 6 and 5 as our combination of 3. However, when we introduce the trade-off analysis and look at the combination of flavours in popularity, which is the right-hand chart, we can see here that the 3 flavours with the broadest consumer appeal actually become flavours 1, 4 and 3. And flavour 6 drops out of the combination set. So this information really helped us understand where to put our focus on the right flavours to launch to maximise the reach. But then we had one more overlay. So we also wanted to understand which flavours are being used for each of the key occasion that we want to go after. And this will help us narrow down the focus. And so here, this is really where we get to see conversational AI techniques earning its stripes, because it's here that we can start to see the why coming out. We're deep diving into why certain flavours appear to be winning at certain occasions and why is it more relevant at this occasion. And this is where we got the added depth over and above the traditional quant study that we did. So as you can see here, by using conversational AI, what we're allowing for is a personalised probing question that helps us dig a little deeper. Similar to doing a little poll group with a moderator who can personalise the question for each consumer. So you can see here that the initial question is the same for each consumer. Why would you use this product for that occasion most often? So the first respondent has said it goes well with the beer. And you can see here that there's a personalised response. So what do you like about the combination of this product and beer? And they give the response. For the second consumer, they've responded a different way to the same question. So they've said, I think they would add an extra element of taste. And so they get given a personalised probe about, well, what do you like about the taste of this product? And they can give their own response. And in the third example, once again, the same question is fed to them initially. Why would you use this product for that occasion most often? And they've responded, because I already use other products from the same brand, so it makes sense to use this as well. And then they've been fed their own personalised probe. Well, what do you like about the other products from the same brand? And they can give a response. So I think this really highlights that level of depth that you're able to get back by using a tool like this. And I'm happy to say our business has successfully been able to get a range of 3 products sold into the trade, and they will be launched later this year. So what do I believe are the key benefits of using conversational AI in your studies? So I think one of the key benefits is really about the speed to get to richer insights. So you don't have to wait until you get back your quant study and have a look at the results and then potentially need to add on a supplementary piece of work to understand the why of what's going on. This can be integrated at the same time. So it ensures that when you get your results back, you've got a greater understanding on what you're seeing. I think secondly, a really key benefit is that it allows you to have the robustness of a quant study. And there are times you need that robustness, but it also integrates some light qual learnings at the same time. So it's really giving you the best of both. And I think third key benefit is that often we find ourselves in a tough position where we're needing to make really tough choices about where we spend our research budgets. Not all projects are going to get the same level of investment or the same comprehensive learning plans, and sometimes you just need to get answers to multiple things in the one study, and this is a great way to get both done.
Thanks, Michelle. So we thought we'd finish our presentation by giving you a quick view of what's coming next. The pace of change in the market research industry that generative AI is facilitating is unprecedented, and this will extend the capabilities of conversational AI in new and exciting ways. Firstly, we've just launched a multi-term probing capability. Until now, the focus with the Inca conversational AI has been to deepen the insight from open-ended survey questions by probing once on the answer given. Multi-term probing enables the AI to keep probing in a similar way to how a moderator would probe in a depth interview. The probing can be set to keep probing for depth in an approach similar to laddering, or it can be set to probe for breadth, probing into different topics that a participant may mention. That was the case in the example on this slide. You can see that the first probe picks up on the participant's mention of healthy, and the second probe asks about flavors. This is enabled by the researcher setting targets of particular words or terms they would like the AI to prioritize probing on if they're mentioned, or perhaps not mentioned by a participant. The next thing to emerge will be the ability to enable intelligent AI probing of open-ended responses people tell us via voice or video. Voice in particular is a more natural way for many people to respond rather than typing. And with the longer conversations enabled by multi-term probing, we can expect this technology to develop. The next step beyond that will be AI avatars that perform the function of interviewer. Avatars such as these ones are already being used in some customer service applications. So a natural next step is to deploy them for market research. In my opinion, the avatars currently sit in uncanny valley territory, but we can expect them to become much more human-like over the next 12 months. So that brings our presentation to an end. We hope you've learned more about the application of generative AI for conversational research and enjoyed hearing the perspectives of Michelle about the use case for General Mills. Thanks very much.
Thank you.